Hi, everyone. Looks like everyone wants to be happy. Yes. So I want to take you on a personal journey that I have had to become more happier in my life. So I want to request you to close your eyes for a minute and imagine a little girl sitting under a staircase waiting for someone to find her. Time passes and nobody comes. So she gets up and goes back to her room and she continues to be lost in her thoughts. You can open your eyes now. That is the image of me that I have as a kid. I was a very quiet kid, even as I grew in a family of 4 kids. But I think I had a dual personality because my husband and my friends say that I was also like a balloon going up full of excitement at time and just coming back in no time. I think I was just like anybody else, and I think I started experiencing a kind of shift about 4 years ago in my life. And it happened when I gave birth to my first son. I had a close to death experience, and I was very upset about it. I was like, why did it happen to me? But then I started thinking positively, and I said, maybe I got a new chance to live, and now I can start with a clean state and with no guilt at all. This is my son, Akash. And when he was 3 months old, he started smiling back and started playing with me. And I experienced a joy I had never felt before. And I was amazed that I could be so, so happy. He brought so much happiness in my world. I love reading books. During that phase, I started reading books and I discovered some great authors who taught me that anybody can create the life that they want to live and the importance and the power of thoughts and words. I used to think, what is the meaning of life? Why am I here? Who am I? But at one point I realized it doesn't matter. What matters is how I live my now. I did a survey with my family and friends on why they are happy, because so many people looked happy to me. And I got many answers. My husband suggested I read a happiness project book, which I did, and my sister asked me to do a 100 happy days project, in which you take photos of happy day of your moments. And this is what I found. So even though I was so selfish about my me time as a young mom, I found that most of my happy time were with my family, my 2 kids then, my husband, my friends, and of course me as well. So I decided that I'm going to figure out how I can live my best life. And for that, I decided to figure out what I'm thinking. I observed my mind. And what I found was very different from what I thought. I saw that I had most critical thoughts about myself as well as for others. But there was also something good. I also thought the gold mine was when I was thinking what I wanted to do. And so I decided next year that I'm going to think more positive. So when I did that, I became much more happier. And people started commenting that, oh, you are so positive. So I decided that I'm going to do that. Now, it is very difficult to keep resolutions, but I was very keen about doing these. So I made them a daily habit for myself. So when I used to drive, I started listening for audiobooks, and I love my commute for that, even though it's 1 hour long. And I started to put inspirational posters everywhere around my home, my desk, my car. I also reduced negativity in my life. I started not going to Facebook, not reading news, and in a discussion, if it went towards negativity, I tried to steer it towards positivity. So I did start doing those things. And then I learned actually, that there are 4 main reasons why people are unhappy and take all the stress. Resentment, that someone has more than what you have. Criticism, mainly for self and for others. Guilt, that you have done something terribly wrong, even if it's simple. Or fear that, oh, I don't know what will happen, I'm not safe. And I realized that these have been conditioned to us as we were growing up. And you can all change by just thinking a little differently. So if I thought I did a mistake, I started thinking, oh, it's okay, made a mistake. How fascinating. And I have also done something great things today. So And then I learned the power of starting your day on a great note and ending on a great note. Someone whom I met was very happy, and I asked her, she said, oh, I get up and say it's an awesome day, and I'm going to have a great day of my life so far. I think that's a great way to start your day. But sometimes as you're going in your day, negativity sets in and some stress come in. So I learned how to virtually reset my day at any time during the day. And someone called Juliana Park, an author, told me that she just used to go back to bed and say, okay, I'm going to restart my day from now on. So I like that as well, if you're at home. Then I learned a lot of that. Many times, when we focus on problems, our problems increase. So when you're talking, if you talk, you try to get sympathy. But if you can move to solution, you will actually find solutions and you'll be much more happier. So whenever I was discussing, I moved from problem and I only discussed when I wanted solutions. Then I was not alone, my family was involved. So we asked each other, what makes you happy? And we made a list of things, and it helps us. Whenever someone is down, we try to cheer that person up by the things they like, and for us as well. Then once I was driving in my car. When I sat down in my car, I was not happy. I was stressed out about something. So I said, okay, now is the time to change. And I decided to put on some music and just become happy. I said, okay, I don't have to be stressed about what I was thinking. Let me become happy right now. So I chose happiness, and I think it just lightened my mood, and it just reduced my problem as well. When I was a small kid, my parents, my siblings used to tell that I was a cripster. I always used to say I did not get enough. And they said, oh, you're never going to be happy. So I think I have changed that belief for sure. And I have become more happier than I was, and I'm continuing to do so. So I want to ask you, what do you want to choose in your life? Think what you are and what you will be. Thank you.